The Boys Herogasm just came out, and it was a lot of strange moments in that episode. What is up, everybody? We are Jersey Comic Crew. We hope you're having a fantastic day because you deserve it. And this is your spoiler warning. We're going to do our review and reaction on episode 6 of season 3 of The Boys. And let me tell you, Chris, you warned me about this episode. I watched it. I loved every second of it.
Yeah.
The Herogasm thing was just as wild as I thought it would be. But, I mean, before we get into the obvious, like the title of it and all that crazy sex orgy that happens,
yeah,
I want to talk about my favorite love couple.
Of course.
Talk about Kimiko and Frenchie.
Yes.
I'm so happy they made it out alive. They barely made it out alive.
Yeah.
And something I said in the last episode kind of came to fruition in this episode. We saw Kimiko understand, like, herself. She's like, the V didn't make me this way. I am this way. Well, she did it in a negative light, right? She's like, I'm the monster. I've always been the monster. She's on the path of accepting herself, and I think Frenchie is too. Frenchie's realizing, hey, we can't run from our past. So these two individuals are kind of giving us the glimpse into the world, like, all right, I am who I always am, and my past made me, and you can't escape your past. You have to take this kind of stuff, use it to evolve and move forward. So I like that these two are two sides of the same coin with this kind of dynamic going forward. I'm really happy they're both alive, and I just want a happy ever after, and I am so worried that they're going to be in danger. And when Kimiko was getting punched in the stomach, I was yelling at my TV. I said, stop it! You stop it right there, you bad Russian man! I was very upset with him.
Me too. It was awful to see because she doesn't have her powers, right? And I'm like, there's a broken rib. There's another broken rib. Okay, now that rib's shattered 3 times. And like, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And she still overcomes it, like
She's
takes these guys out, right? Like that fighting style, that killer instinct, that survival instinct in reality is what it is. That didn't go away with the powers, right? And Frenchie being there, the whole Nina situation has completely gotten out of hand, right? We also saw Frenchie's ex-girlfriend Sherry was brought in. Don't know if that was part of it or not. I don't trust Sherry at all.
You think Sherry's like a double agent for Nina?
Maybe. I don't trust Sherry at all. I mean, one, she's an addict, so you have that crutch there, right? You have the crutch where that you can exploit her with.
Sure.
And number 2, nothing really happens to her, right? Like she kind of goes to attack somebody, she gets pushed down, and then Kimiko is the focus. So there's that aspect too where I'm like, I wonder. But yeah, I love seeing them together and them get out alive, and that moment that you talked about a little bit about them talking about their past. And I thought Frenchie's line was the best one of the episode, where you could run as fast as you can, your past will catch up to you unless you deal with it. And it's so true, right? Like you could run away as fast as you can. We've all done it. We've all ran as fast as we can from something, but unless you fully deal with it and realize, all right, I got to put the nail in this coffin, you're not going to be able to move forward and be a happier person or live your life better. So
does this mean that they're going after Nina? Like that, I think that's the ultimate question with this, right?
I
you
think
can't
so.
run from your past.
Yeah.
She's always going to be an issue. She's still going to always go after Sherry or Frenchie. Does this mean they're going to have to team up and take Nina down?
I do. I think they have to. I think we've just seen that Nina isn't going away, right? We saw Nina in the beginning of the season dealing with Butcher and trying to get Frenchie back into the fold, and it didn't work. Now this is part 2 where things got out of hand. I think now they have to deal with Nina because she's clearly not going to go away. Those weren't her only 2 goons, by the way, right?
Of
like
course.
she's a Russian mob boss. So that's going to come back now triple fold, right? They're going to go after her. So I think now as the boys are dealing with, everything they just dealt with.
Yeah.
Frenchie and Kimiko have to put the nail in this coffin and take Nina out and completely remove her from the board.
I think Frenchie, Kimiko, and Nina, that whole weird love triangle that's happening, is going to be the big plot for season 4. And I think we're going to get like Russians and Russian supervillains and like other superheroes. They've been hinting at supervillains, right? In last season, we're seeing that again bring up because of Soldier Boy's coming back. We see this stuff with Russia. I'm like, okay, a Russia superhero team. Like, why do we not have like that coming in and they're going to try to attack America? There's like all this kind of like alluding to like all the secrecy of Russia and this experiment on a Soldier Boy. I could easily be like, oh, why we were going after Nina? We found out they had supervillains in Russia or superheroes in Russia that we had to take care of. And now they kind of like have to deal with this Homelander situation and deal with something abroad. I think that would be a cool twist to kind of see what other superheroes are in the world aside from just America.
That would be really cool. I don't know if Nina's going to survive to next season because of this kind of like, it feels like the B storyline, right? The focus is the boys and the Soldier Boy situation, and the B subplot is Frenchie, Nina, and Kimiko. So I feel like that will end it, but ending Nina's storyline and this B plot this season could absolutely open the door for something we see next season in a much bigger light of like, oh, like this is what Nina was hiding, right? Or
That
this
could
is
be
what
true, yeah.
this is what she was trying to get Frenchie to work on. Like the person she wanted to kill maybe was the person running that organization of you know, like the Russian bot or something, you know, who knows?
Ooh.
So like there's still that on the table. So we have 2 episodes left, but I do think Nina's story will kind of end in this season.
All right, we delayed it long enough. We got to talk about the hero gasm.
Do you have a rosary?
You get your blindfolds. You remove all the children from the room. This celebrates the 70th, right? They were like the 70th anniversary of like this superhero orgy that we do find out Soulja Boy invented, and like they're having sex. They're using like electrical nipple clamps. There's what's his name? Love Sausage is back
Love
again
Sausage
with
with
the
his
long
40-foot
penis.
schlong.
All kinds of stuff. I think the thing that bothered me most, aside from like the mass amount of stuff there, was the Deep with the octopus. Are we not going to talk about that?
Oh, we got to talk about
Oh
the
my,
Deep
oh my God,
What
Deep!
are we calling him? Timothy 2 or whatever?
That might be Timothy's father. He was a much bigger octopus.
That was insane. I think also the video with the TNT twins, like the toilet cam,
Oh my
scarred me
goodness.
for life. I will never get that image out of my head. The dude who makes like the Iceman guy who made like dildos out of ice.
Oh, and he's like hammering it in. I love how everybody
we had
mentioned.
another mini guy. We had another mini guy pop out of a woman and got. Oh, and of course, you know, getting just speeding on in
Poor
just ridiculous fashion.
That was
poor guy.
There was a lot there. That guy had to be building up. I don't know what he looks like on the other side of that door. And I don't want to.
Part. We didn't see anything.
Because I would think maybe that's the Love Sausage, but I don't think that was Love Sausage. I think that was like some Love Cannon or something. Poor MM. And
But
he has
like,
OCD.
oh my
He had to
God.
deal with that.
It was crazy, and what's crazy too is there's no way you can translate everything that goes on in that book to screen, right? There's so much more in the book. They did a great job. And I kind of went into this episode wondering if the whole episode was going to be that or how they're going to do it. I thought they did a great job of taking that portion of it, making it the crux of the episode, and it felt like a season finale almost. But
it did.
Within that, Rob, I think the funniest part is everyone who, like all the boys who were separated, right? You had Butcher and Huey over here. You had Mother's Milk and Annie over there. Everyone going, oh, Frenchie missed this. He's going to be so mad.
And then like, everybody's like, oh, poor Frenchie. Poor Frenchie.
Poor Frenchie. He's been wanting to be here for years. He's been talking about it forever. Thought that was one of the best parts. And, man, I can't unsee what I've seen. Like, they made the biggest, craziest orgy / I don't even know what of all time on television.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the boys in the house before, the big fight scene, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huey teleporting in, being naked, he blends right in. I'm like, okay, cool.
So
I don't
funny,
want to
great.
see Huey's junk.
Yep.
Maybe he covered it up like a gentleman. But him dealing with A-Train, and then we finally get this resolution with A-Train, right? We talked about this last episode. He's realizing because it happened to him, the damage he's caused other people. He finally gave a sincere apology to Huey, and he's like, I am so sorry, like I know how bad this hurts, and like he's feeling it because he knows how he feels. And Ashley just yelled at him before, like, you don't really care about this, you only care because it's happening to yourself. So we're seeing this genuine turn of emotions for A-Train, and I'm so happy we saw that. But like, how satisfying was it when Huey punched the shit out of A-Train?
Absolutely.
And Starlight had to like push him away. It was so good, and A-Train's like, wait, how did you do that? Because he felt the pain.
Yeah.
Very nice.
One, I don't know how you skipped over Ashley ripping her hair out and sexually moaning. Because that was really uncomfortable for everyone.
Uncomfortable.
I think A-Train made the face we all made.
I think that was more uncomfortable than half the things I saw a hero guy.
It was so crazy. But yeah, it was interesting to see this turn of fate where now that A-Train has dealt with this himself, is the apology sincere? Right? Is it?
Look, you saw his emotion on his face.
Agreed, but it's also very circumstantial, right? I don't necessarily still think A-Train's a good dude. Obviously, none of them are. But I think obviously now that was a sincere apology based on circumstance, which take it how as you want. Some people are saying it's not that sincere. Some people are saying it is sincere. And that he had to learn it and deal with it himself. He learned it the
hard way. Yeah.
I also loved him taking out Blue Hawk. And just scraping this sucker on the ground for like a mile.
So do you think he's dead? Because
No,
like
I don't.
he had like a heart attack and like lay there on the floor.
Yeah, this is the first time we saw him actually use his powers in forever. And we know what happens, right? All that stuff he was taking, all the drugs. Mm-hmm. He has a heart defect. If he uses his powers, he could die. We saw him go into like heart palpitations, might have passed out, might have had a heart attack. I don't think he's dead. I think at the end when we saw kind of all the dead, they would have definitely shown his body if he was dead.
Oh, sure.
But I think eventually he will die. I don't see how he doesn't, because he's going to be forced to use his powers in some way. And maybe it becomes the redemption of the hero.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea.
I think he will die. But I think the crux of this, Rob, is Huey hitting him.
Yeah.
I think that's the crux, because Huey is now becoming what he is basically fighting against, right? Insert Obi-Wan line here. You become what you sought to destroy, blah, blah, blah. I think Huey is on this awful descent of a character right now. Not awful as in it's done badly. I think awful for him as a person. And
he's letting his insecurities as a man who can't protect Starlight affect him. He was a man who couldn't stop his girlfriend, fiance from dying from a superhero. That's how this whole journey started. That is core to his character. When he started dating Starlight and he started being more interactive and active with the boys, he always felt useless and like he couldn't do anything. Even with MM and Butcher and Frenchie, all these normal people, he finally has the chance to say, hey, I have power. I could do this. I could save her. I could do all this. And he's kind of like using that like to feel good about himself. Yeah. And as we see like the fallout with him and Starlight, it's not a pretty look on him.
No, it's not at all. And he is becoming those bullies he talks about, right? He's talked about this before. Like, I was this nerdy kid who got picked on and, you know, I was bullied my whole life. He is now becoming what he hated the most and what he's fought against, right? The whole point of the boys is to fight against these tyrannical overlords that have immense power. And now he's becoming that. And I think by punching A-Train in the face as he's sincerely apologizing, shows you really how bad it is getting to him and how, you know, kind of also cracked out he is on this stuff, right? Every time they pull that Temp V out, he's got these like eyes of like, like he's jonesing for.
You could also argue that it's his completion and way that he got closure on the situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's like it definitely is all of that what you said. I believe that 100%. But I think it's more important that like he finally got closure for what happened in season 1, and so now he can't really use that against like anybody saying like this is my motivation. Now I think it's more like, no, I'm doing this because I want to do this, and I think that's like an underlying theme. People are going to be doing what they want to do.
I love that angle, Rob. I love that angle of A-Train apologizing almost takes away Huey's motivation, right? Like he's asking for an apology in his mind, thinking he's not going to get it, thinking it's never going to happen, and then he gets it, and he's like, you know what? F you anyway, right? It's like nothing's going to be good enough because his motivation for doing this started with A-Train, started with that horrible, you know, scene in episode 1 where he's holding arms with no body. And now that drive, that loop has closed, and he's like, no, I can't allow you to be a nice guy or apologize because I need this to fuel me to keep going. And I love that underlying toe you just pulled because I think that's 100% motivational right there.
Like, to continue on that motivational thought, you're going to do what you want to do. MM meets Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy gets to the party. This is right before the big battle scene. But MM, like, throws, like, some kind of gas bomb at him. It doesn't work. And he squares up like he's about to fight.
He smokes it?
Yeah, he smokes it. He's like, what do you think you're going to do with this? He's about to square up knowing, like, he's going to die. He can't do anything. He has a death wish. Yeah. Butcher comes in and, like, Butcher is like this double-edged sword, I think, in the show for his friends. Like, he looks out for them, but he also causes a lot of the damage.
Absolutely.
So when he steps in there, saves MM's life, Soulja Boy walks away. MM just starts punching him. He beat him with a baseball bat, trying to do anything he can to, like, I guess, to get that frustration out. And he makes this comment like, oh, you can have Homelander, but I can't have Soulja Boy.
Yeah.
I think it's known full and well, like, the audience is saying, like, you had no chance against him. This wasn't the same kind of situation. You needed to stop. And I'm starting to feel afraid for I'm starting to feel afraid for MM because he's making more of these dangerous life or death situations just to try to get Soulja Boy. And I know Starlight's pulling him back a little bit, but this might be the end for MM if he doesn't wise up.
Yeah, I love MM as a character. I think he's one of the most complex characters on the show with his home life, with his background with heroes, all this stuff. And he's someone right now who absolutely has a death wish and absolutely needs to get checked, right? Because he is someone that we both love Everyone loves him as a character. The scene with him and Annie was fantastic, where he talks about his, without having to see a flashback, right?
Yeah.
You can see it in his eyes, the pain, where he's talking about his grandfather dying because he woke him up because there was a fight outside, and Soldier Boy, instead of just stopping it, threw a car through the window. And that, in terms of that pain that he's never been able to let go of, right? Like, it's a part of his identity, that pain, which a lot of us have. A lot of us have past trauma that becomes a part of your identity and your everyday life that you're trying to fight against, you're trying to get through, whatever the case. And we see it in MM when he's squaring up like ridiculously like Flash Thompson in Spider-Man. Like, I wouldn't want to fight me neither. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, so I like that he was kind of knocked out and taken off the board there. He comes to and Butcher's like, come on, man. And he sees what's going on and he gets him out of there. But man, is he going down a road too. Not the same as Huey, but similar to Huey, where he needs to kind of wise up and get out of it.
I mentioned Soldier Boy got to the party. Soldier Boy, he heard the Russian music. He heard Love Sausage speaking Russian, lost his mind, exploded the whole house. Many people died, superheroes and civilians included.
TNT twins, no more.
No, yeah, they were stupid. I'm glad they died. They were like, they could even use the powers. I'm like, get out of here.
Anybody who has a toilet cam can immediately die.
You know what? I think that's a safe statement.
I'm just gonna say it.
Especially an unwarranted and unknown toilet
Oh
cam.
my god, and it was his sister, man.
Yeah, everybody dies. Anyway, Homelander gets there. And
yeah.
like Chris was saying at the beginning of this episode, it felt like a season finale because the tension was there. We knew we were going to get a fight. They get in, they start fighting each other, and I'm thinking, oh man, maybe Homelander is stronger than Soldier Boy. And Soldier Boy just has to do this blast, and that's his only way out. When Butcher gets in there, gets attacked, and then lasers Homelander back, and Homelander's like, oh shit, what have you done? And they mentioned we're supposed to battle to the death, and then we get this three-way brawl. Oh my god, it was so good to see Butcher finally punch Homelander and Homelander feel it.
Yeah, this is what I wanted, like, Batman v Superman to be, that fight. And I loved the beginning of this fight so much, Rob. Like, I watched it 5 times of just Homelander. Like, Tony Starr's so good at having that intense, crazy, but with the hint of fear, right? And he's like, I watched all your movies. I was a big fan. And he's like, why do you have a cape? And he's like, I'm the upgrade, right? And he's like, and it's just this like shittiness between these two characters, and the power sets are there, right? Like, they are toe to toe. And then Butcher gets up after Homelander thinks he's dead and like you said, what have you done? I still can't stop laughing when Huey fights naked.
Oh
it's
my god,
so
I love it.
And it's like, I know it's a serious moment. I know it's like, because you have them holding him down, right? You have it, and you have the tension of he's building up the chest, like the havoc blast.
That was good.
And you're like, come on! I'm like Arnold in Predator. Do it! And he can't get it off before he escapes.
Dude, the realization during that fight that like he might not be able to win, and like he's getting
on the
hit,
ground, right?
Teleport,
you see him like he's actually scared.
He's like, oh wait, this whole thing just showed that he could bleed, right? He has a bruise on the end of the face. You see himself looking in the mirror. He's gonna do some more psycho talk he did in the beginning of this episode.
Yeah, he had a Moon Knight scene there.
Yeah, it was that was really creepy. I was getting scared. I was like, no, he's gonna be worse.
Yep.
But like, this just showed him that he's not invulnerable. Now he's like, oh, maybe I have to be on the defensive here. I have to do this. And we know he has the insecurities of people needing to love him. The Vault company might be in trouble. And now Black Noir went missing, and he thought he could track Black Noir. Black Noir removed his tracer.
That poor lady in the elevator.
She was scarred for life. And I don't know if Black Noir is afraid of everybody, or he's doing his own thing, or he has a third angle we don't know about yet. But seeing that the great king could bleed, and seeing that realization, Anthony started up chef's kiss. Fantastic job with that. Oh my god, this made me love the show even more.
I loved every second of it. This was a fantastic episode. It's one of my favorite episodes of The Boys now, because I don't know how do you top this for a season finale? There's 2 episodes left, and this felt like a season finale. Oh, you even had Starlight at the end.
Yeah, I was about to say Starlight at the end. I think was arguably almost bigger than the fight scene,
where Huey takes her and she's like, really, and they're both like naked in on the highway.
No, I'm not talking about them naked. I mean, lovely, sure.
But I think that's part of like the trajectory, right? Like, it starts with this argument where they're both there for different reasons, but for the same reasons, right? It's like they want to stop this. Starlight wants to do it the right way. Huey's just doing it any means possible.
Any way he can, yeah.
And now Starlight has completely disowned Vought.
Yes.
We saw earlier her conversation with Newman, right? Where she's like, oh, is he afraid I'm going to pop his head? I was like, oh, shit. Like, it just, like, so that cat's out of the bag now. She doubles down on her and is like, kill me because I'm not doing this. Like, decide. And, like, as she leaves, she made her nose bleed just, like, as a message. And then now we have her going on her Instagram live, which, you know, she has, 190 million followers.
Yeah, an insane amount.
Denouncing Vought and Homelander and saying what happened and all the lies. Just all of it. So,
I mean, it's the smartest thing because she, like, you can't kill her because then you're just proving her right and everybody else right. And now it's a weird game. She kind of made herself immune to Homelander doing this.
Almost. I mean,
almost. Yeah.
Here,
right.
Now the question is, right? Like, now that Homelander has gone through this fight, one of the people he hates most in the world, Butcher, has powers and he doesn't know how or why. How is that going to affect him, right? He's now felt invincible his entire life and now has felt mortal, right? That conversation with himself where he's like, your human side, that little piece of humanity in you is the problem. And that is going to fester and grow into something even crazier. So, like, this is going to be nuts, man. Like, I can't wait for round 2 with Soldier Boy because Soldier Boy was killing it with some of those, stolen Captain America moves with the shield and stuff. Good. But this was insane, man. I am on the edge of my seat for every episode of this show. I love this show so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of Hero Gasm? What do you think of The Boys Season 3? What is your favorite moment so far? You got to tell us down in the comments below.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, really helps the channel out a lot. If you are new, subscribe, turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss any more of our breakdowns of boys content. And if you missed anything, it's always here for you on the channel. And as always, my name is Chris Heller. That is Rob Moran. We are the Jersey Comic Crew, and we'll see you next time.